Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio.
Oh, and today it's going to be a very fun
Oh,
episode.
today it's going to be magical.
Yes, because we're exploring our favorite kind of magic at
Yeah.
Walt Disney World. Little small, unexpected magic.
Yes, magic you've got to try to notice, I guess.
Right.
Or the little pieces of magic that add up just to make this glowing memory. You know what I
That's a
mean?
really good way to describe it.
Yeah, you don't
Definitely.
even know it's happening, but it's happening to create this glowing magical memory.
Yeah, and when you do notice it, you get the warm, fuzzy, little tingly feeling
Yeah.
that reminds you that you're experiencing something maybe that you haven't before, or just a small detail that you love throughout the parks. We love moments like that.
We do, we do. I love noticing this kind of thing, and I'm always so mind blown that they would put effort into some of these little things.
Yes,
You know?
Imagineering comes
Yes.
up with amazing tributes to
Yeah.
past things or things that Walt has said or the history of the company in
Or
general.
little things that 98% of people wouldn't notice,
Hmm.
but they took the effort anyway for I guess the 2% of us, or maybe they think that people notice it in their subconscious.
Hmm.
That's probably true, right?
Sure, yeah. Or maybe if they don't even know necessarily what it's paying tribute to, they know that that detail has some thought, some story behind it as well to help build out the world that they're in.
Yes.
These are all fun examples of the ways that Imagineers use everything around the guest to help wrap you up in the magic of everything. The details of not only the textures and materials around you physically, but also sight, smell, perception of depth. Anything that you
Yes.
can perceive, they are trying to
Thinking about it.
incorporate, some story into, right?
Right, right. More so than anywhere else in the world, I think.
And that's what makes it so special to visit.
Yes, exactly.
Because even if you go, even if you're a first time visitor or you're someone coming back, there's always some new little magical little detail to pick up on, which is
Yes.
makes it worthwhile to continue to come back if you're long term fans like us, or you're people who make Walt Disney World a regular vacation for your family, which
Right?
I know that's, a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was us. That's how we started.
That's how we started. Yeah. And I mean, I still do that with the other Disney parks. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
I'm going to take a vacation, I'm going to somewhere Disney usually.
Yeah.
Disneyland or Disney Cruise or whatever. So, and they've got all of this stuff everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Details. We've come up with kind of a list each of some of our favorites. But before we dive into that list, we did want to, first of all, thank you all so much for listening. If this is your first episode, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And if you would like to help support the show, if you're enjoying it, then we would absolutely love your help. Some ways that you can do that are to subscribe to the podcast if you're on a listening platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and leave us a review letting us know that you've enjoyed the show. That helps a lot. And if you would like to see our faces discussing our favorite Disney details, then head over to our YouTube channel, Neverland Navigation Co., where you can see every week we upload a full visual version of the podcast. So you can like that video, subscribe to us, and leave a comment letting us know maybe what some of your favorite details are throughout the park. Little small hints of magic. We would love to read that.
Yeah.
And we would also super, super, super appreciate the support because it makes a huge difference for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, if you're thinking about taking a Disney trip or a cruise or even a Universal trip, if you send me an email at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com, I am a free to you travel agent that offers free trip t-shirts from our 5-star Etsy shop. Yeah, as a thank you for letting me help you book your vacation. So if you were going to book something and it was going to cost $2,000, I'll get you that same deal or better. Plus, you get free trip t-shirts.
That is such a great benefit. I get so excited to. One of my favorite parts of planning trips to Disney with my friends or whoever is if we're doing some type of silly
Coordination.
coordinated
We do a lot of
outfit.
coordination.
Yeah.
Yeah, we plan Dapper Day like 6 months in advance. We like
Yeah.
coordinating.
That's fun. Or
Yeah.
even if you're just doing like a family trip and you want to
Yeah.
have like some type of matching t-shirt or a
Yes.
t-shirt for everyone's favorite park or ride or whatever.
Yeah.
I think those things are such a fun way to add like a personalized touch to your vacation photos and your vacation memories. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready?
I think we're
I
ready.
feel ready. Before we dive into our kind of main list here, I know I have a few honorable mention
Sure.
type of things. Um, and the first one that I have on here is the Main Street area music, the Main Street like background loop
Yeah.
when you're coming into Magic Kingdom.
Okay, so did you separate the different music in different areas for your list?
I have some different examples. Actually, I think this is the only music on my list.
So maybe we should I think because I wrote ambient music, but
Oh,
I could talk about it for a few minutes because it's different in each area.
oh, you went broad. I went specific.
Yes,
I see what happened.
I went broad, yes, but I want to talk about specifics because some are like very, like you're saying,
Yes,
Main Street.
stand out.
Yes,
Like,
is like that's the first thing your ears take in when you step into Disney World,
right.
assuming you're going to Magic Kingdom first, which isn't what everybody does, but you know what I mean.
Yes. For our purposes, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how in some areas of the park, I mean, this happens on the cruise ships too, believe it or not, which is crazy because they're so much smaller. The music, like, it kind of like flows into different music for a different area.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, like a gradual change of the audio. I think that the fact that on the cruise ship and in the theme parks they're considering the audio experience as you travel from area to area, like the transitions and the vibe of each background track. That in itself is definitely super magical.
I think so too, and so thought out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you've never really paid attention to it, you might think that they're just playing random like Disney stuff in the background, but they're not. Like it's all themed to your certain area. So Main Street has that kind of, would you say, turn of the century kind of charm?
Yes, definitely.
Even some of the songs that they play on the Main Street loop, they're not even Disney songs. One of them is like a Broadway song, right?
Right. One of my favorite moments in that loop is the fringe.
Surrey with the fringe on top?
Yeah, the
Yes.
Surrey with the fringe
That's the
on top.
one I was just thinking of when you said that. Yeah.
That's from Oklahoma. It's a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, Golden Age musical, and it definitely evokes the feelings of that turn
time
of the
period.
century,
Yeah,
strolling down the street, waving
Yes.
hi to everybody. It just has that, piano forte vibe that really takes it there. And I think it's such a great moment in the score because, especially if you're walking by like a Main Street vehicle or a horse or something that you might see on Main Street, I just think it like totally encapsulates the vibe.
Right. I think a thing that detracts from the Main Street turn of the century vibe is the extreme crowds that are a lot of times on Main Street. But if you like take a minute to kind of look around, they've really, really done well at putting you in that. It's just sometimes the crowds are so overwhelming in that area.
Oh yeah, it is harder to appreciate the details if you're there at a particularly busy point, but it is worth it because whether you're outside on Main Street USA or inside the shops or whatever, there's so many amazing fun details all over everything to look at, in the ground, on the walls, up above you, everywhere.
Right.
It's amazing.
A good place to appreciate the ambient music is when you're about to walk into any of the parks. It's different, of course, at every park, and I really love the ambient music is setting you up for the theming of the park as a whole.
Yes. I have really strong, fond memories of the Epcot entrance music.
Me too. I could have that on all the time.
I know. It is different now.
It is different
has
now.
recently changed.
Yeah.
But it's actually the old one that I'm talking about. Because that one, for me, there's just something about the big brass and orchestral moments of that feel like futuristic optimism,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
glistening
Imagination. Like it
Yeah,
somehow incorporates all of these ideas that are part of Epcot.
it's the feeling of Epcot in like music form, and it's so perfect for the mission that it was trying to make you go on, which was that you were about to go on an adventure through progress and through, future building. And also through the past and stuff and imagination, all those wonderful themes. But
Yeah,
like to get you ready for the experience, to hype you up for it. And I feel like that music really did a great job of that. I
I
don't
do
mind.
too.
I don't mind the new one. I don't think
Right.
it's bad, but it's also not custom created for Epcot. It's pieced together from different pieces of pre-existing, unrelated media. So that's interesting to find that they've basically constructed a score as opposed to the old school way of creating something from the ground up in a recording booth
Yeah.
for the entrance. So the details change over time as well.
Yeah. And then another one I feel like you I noticed the Animal Kingdom one more than the other ones. Maybe it's because it's not as busy generally.
Hmm.
So it's not as loud out there. I
No,
don't
I can
know.
hear it now. I definitely think
Yeah.
it's very memorable.
Yes. Yeah. That
Drum beats,
yes.
nature sounds, chants. The blend is very. It feels like you're getting ready to go on, a natural
A
expedition,
safari.
or like a
Yeah.
great hiking trail or something. It feels naturey.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely get that. I also have on here the Tomorrowland music score
Okay. Yeah.
as an honorable mention because there's some moments in that I think are amazing, iconic. Like Now Is the Time or The Best Time, the GE sponsored Carousel of Progress song.
Yeah.
Um, that used to play in the Carousel of Progress here at Walt Disney World. Now it's part of the Tomorrowland loop, and I think you hear it on the People Mover.
Yeah, in like a different way. Like
Right.
what would you say? Like futuristic kind of.
Yeah, like as
Yeah.
a futuristic, like pop instrumental. It's very fun to listen to.
Yeah. And they've got like the synthesizer type thing going back in Tomorrowland. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Lots of synthesizer sounds,
Yeah.
very like retro,
Retro
future.
future,
Hmm.
which is what they're going for back there. Yeah, I agree. Love that.
Very fun.
Um, okay. Did you want me to name one? I
I would
my
love to hear a few.
so
Uh,
when Jake prepped for the podcast, he put his in order, and I just wrote down. I didn't do an order. It's very hard, I think, on magical extras because I think all of these magical extras like come together to make this thing, right? So
mhm.
so it's hard for me to really uh order them. But I'm gonna name one of the ones that I was one of the last ones I thought of, although very important, and that's forced perspective.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, forced perspective is something that Disney, I think, is did they start it? I feel like they started it. It's a thing you see now sometimes
Definitely in
in other
theme
places.
parks,
Yeah.
for sure.
But Disney uses it just all over the place. This is building things, if you don't know, it's building things where the next level up is a little smaller, the next level up is a little smaller to make it look like it's further away. So to make things look taller and further away than they actually are.
Hmm.
Um, they
Lots of
use
great
it,
examples.
yeah, they use it in Main Street. The new where the Beast's Castle is, that's a very obvious form of forced perspective because it's like a teeny castle, but it looks really far away.
Yeah.
What's your best example?
Oh, there are lots of great
Yeah,
examples.
I mean the
Cinderella
castle
Castle.
uses it. Yeah.
Cinderella Castle uses it to great effect. Um, Tower of Terror uses it to great effect. The Hollywood Hotel. Um,
Visually, if you're looking to see something to understand the concept, I think the Beast Castle is the best because it's kind of obvious, which I guess is a bad thing, right? That's not what they're going for.
uh,
But you can see it, especially if you look up the online the picture of the bird on there or whatever.
oh, that's right. We've
We've
spoken
talked
about
about
this
it.
previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting case where maybe um, it's definitely at a different scale than they normally do for forced perspective. But really, forced perspective is all around you, basically all the time, if you're on a ride, because forced perspective is how they accomplish basically any sense of depth within the ride because you're in a building where there's not unlimited space around the ride path. So to create the illusion of depth, basically all backgrounds are also forced perspective.
Oh,
Like if you're
I hadn't
in
really considered that. That's very interesting.
Spaceship Earth is actually a great example of this
Interesting,
because as you're
interesting.
traveling through the different sections, like Rome, for example, right in front of you are these big columns that are around you, but also back in the distance there will be, a ship. Well, there's this one where it's like ships and it's like the town is in the background.
Right.
But then as you go on into like the radio era, the film era, the cinema portion of the ride, there's a portion where there's like a little movie theater and people
Yeah.
cut out and stuff, and all of that is all forced perspective to try to establish a sense of scale basically out of like a little model of something. And so you really get used to it. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's all around you all the time. In the Frozen ride, there's a big old Elsa's castle on the North Mountain, but it's tiny in real life. But it
Right.
feels farther away because of forced perspective.
And no birds can sit on top of that one.
Yeah, that thank goodness. Yeah, yeah. Forced perspective is huge. It really makes the scale of things feel. Yeah, it makes up things feel larger than life.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your next one?
Okay. I have. So I guess I can lump this as Tomorrowland stuff. I love the People Mover tribute, the Best Time song that's incorporated into there.
Oh
There's
my gosh, I love the People Mover tributes. Go on.
yes, but the People Mover tributes in general are amazing. There's a Mr. Tom Aro reference in there to I love that reference just to begin. There's a Fight to the Moon reference.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
There's Nine Eye,
Nine Eye, yeah,
which is from that
the Timekeeper.
The Timekeeper.
All things from like Tomorrowland past.
But they're subtle. So if you like for that one, they go like whether you have one or nine eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like a subtle hint to like the Tomorrowland that once was.
Right, which is awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome.
Because to casual park goers, that's just a fun little alien joke.
Yes.
Because aliens or robots can have 9 eyes. But for
those of us, that know, yeah. But, I mean, at the end, he says, now is the time. Mm-hmm. Now is the best time, and most people wouldn't even know because that's not the title of it. I mean, that's just a lyric from the song from Carousel of Progress from the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a deep cut.
Deep cut.
But we love a deep cut.
Deep cut like Easter egg. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another deep cut in the Carousel of Progress. I'm lumping this together. Where at the very final scene, where it's set in the future, although it looks like 2003, and the dad is wearing an apron, and the apron says "My food rocks."
Yeah, yeah.
I love this reference because Food Rocks is kind of like an obscure show from the past of Epcot that existed in the Land Pavilion. If you're a 90s kid, you might be familiar with it, or its previous iteration, Kitchen Cabaret, which was more popular. But things like that don't really normally get shout outs or attention.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing that this randomly popped up in a refurbishment of the Carousel of Progress a couple years ago.
Yes, and the People Mover references that we're talking about, that's new as of this year, I believe, right? Yes. Or within the past year.
Yeah.
And I love that they put the effort of giving us, the super fans, the ones that have been coming our whole lives, these Easter eggs that not everybody are going to get, but they're like, hey, we see you or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a nice little, it is satisfying to know that they're paying a little homage for the people who care about the history and or live through the history.
Yeah.
Have been, consistently coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good one. I didn't think about Easter eggs. Tomorrowland's like the big one now that you mention it.
It is. And there's lots of fun little details even in the Carousel of Progress. In that same last scene, up on the bulletin board, there's a note that says Marty called, wants changes, and that's a tribute to Marty Sklar.
I figured.
Yeah, who's like a legendary Imagineer who is responsible for, a lot of what happened in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
But I love those things too, little Easter eggs to pay tribute to Imagineers or Disney legends. And we were recently talking about Main Street. The Main Street windows obviously are a
Yes.
great example of that as well.
Right, right. I haven't even delved in yet into all of the windows. That's something we should do on a video at some point, I think.
Ooh, yeah, video
Yeah.
tour of the Main Street windows.
Yes, yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I mean, just to lump in on this Tomorrowland Easter egg thing, like Spaceport 75, you pass that sign, and I mean that's about the opening year. So there's just like stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Nothing's accidental. I don't think they ever go, oh, hey, I need a random two-digit number to put here. Somebody tell me a random number. It's always has to do, if you see a number
Right.
and it's like part of the attraction or part of whatever, then there's a purpose. You could think to yourself, I wonder what this is referencing.
Right.
Which is so cool.
It's true. Every detail is like an opportunity for a new little thing.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
I put hidden Mickeys, but this is really in the same vein as what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is Imagineers just having fun.
Yes, absolutely. A little hidden treasure for those who are eagle-eyed and willing to look. Do you have any favorite hidden Mickeys, Morgan?
I do. My favorite hidden Mickey is in Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Me too. This is actually on my list. I love it so much.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
glad that you're talking about it. Tell the people where it's, well, maybe not specifically where it's at, but what's the vibe?
Yeah, well, I think specifically where it at is okay because I knew where it was at, and it still took me like over an hour to find.
And Morgan took me to show me, knew where it was, and it still took us forever to find it.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
it's like it's hard to find.
It's hard to find.
I think that's good.
Yeah, so if you walk into the main entrance of the main building of Animal Kingdom Lodge and you walk straight through, towards like straight to the back exit, right?
Through Jumbo. Nope.
Yes.
Yes. Through
yes.
Jumbo House toward the Savannah.
Yeah. So like this is the check-in area, and there's the elevators and stuff, and you go straight through towards the Savannah. Exactly. You're gonna have to go downstairs and out the door. Then as soon as you're out the door, there are like big I want to say stair coverings of iron or something, leaves, like it's a leaf pattern, vines. They go up both sides, and there is a hidden Mickey in there that you would not believe.
Yeah.
It is very well camouflaged.
Jaw-dropping.
Yes, once you see it, it is jaw-dropping. You feel so proud of yourself. But I would suggest not doing it in 100-degree heat.
No. Yeah.
Because you might be out there a long time.
Yeah, that sounds tough.
Yeah, but I don't know how Hidden Mickeys began, but I love that this is a thing. So you can buy like Hidden Mickey books. I have all the Hidden Mickey books. And if you're the kind of person that is a pass holder and goes all the time, this is the kind of thing that's for you. You know what I mean? If you're somebody that takes like a week-long vacation once every couple years, maybe no.
Right.
You don't have time for this. But I like that they're there. It's also, it just seems like you're saying hi to the Imagineer that put this ride together, that took the time to hide this hidden Mickey for you. It's kind of like a little signature. I get that it's not. I don't know the names of the people. You know what I mean? All the people that make all the rides and do all of the work, and that's a sad thing. But it's cool that they get to hide a little something in there.
It is. It is a nice way of connecting with the people who took the time to make that for you.
Right.
You know, that's beautiful.
And most Disney Imagineers like obsessively love their job. So it's not. I think they're doing this they're obviously doing this out of love. I don't think they're told to incorporate these. You know what I mean? Yeah,
there are certain circumstances like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway where they have the most hidden Mickeys of any Disney anything ever on that ride, where it was clearly their goal to incorporate them. But
right,
I think,
they probably decided as a team for that one. Yeah.
Yes, but I think in general, like you're saying, that's an evolution of a culture that began from just taking the opportunity to incorporate a small, creative gesture
Yes.
into the design that to connect, with the people who are maybe either, I guess, eagle-eyed or, repeat customers,
Yeah, I
as
think
you would say.
repeat. Yeah,
Right.
repeat customers. And some of them are painted in or made out of iron, like that one we are talking about. So it's clearly made and chosen to be there. And then there are some that cast members actually do. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? There used to be one that was epic that was in the line for the queue for Tower of Terror
Mm.
after the like when you're in that area that's like the basement or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and on the floor there's cables. And it's like sometimes it would be there, it would make a hidden Mickey on the floor out of cables. And
Oh,
sometimes it would be there and sometimes it wouldn't be. And last time I went, it wasn't there, which I don't know how long it's not been there. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
so clearly cast members also can have some effect here.
And that's like a nice little special hidden Mickey.
Yeah.
Like, it's not there all the time.
Right. I don't know why it would get taken away ever, but
Maybe to increase its allure,
maybe.
you know,
Maybe.
to increase demand. No, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of a specific one that's not a hidden Mickey. Should I mention this?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I don't remember what it says. Maybe you remember. So when you're in Tower of Terror and you see that you went through the line, you're waiting to get into that one room, and there's that thing with the words,
Mm-hmm.
like what's that called?
Like a letterboard.
Letterboard, yes. And some of the letters have fallen down, and it says something. The letters have like fallen from it being there for so long, and it says something on the bottom. What does it say?
We're about to find out.
Jinx, are you looking at our pictures? We definitely took a picture of it at one point.
I'm scouring the internet. Oh, it says take the stairs.
Yeah, yes. Oh my gosh, I love that one.
I love that one too. It's actually not that one specifically, but Tower of Terror in general is on my list because it has such an abundance
Oh my
of
gosh.
references throughout.
Yeah.
Not only small details like this that you can interact with as a guest, but references to the TV show, The Twilight Zone, that it's based on, that are like all around you all the time.
Them remaking that guy for the video is crazy.
Yeah, you're talking about the narrator of Tower of Terror.
Yes,
Ron Sterling.
Right, because he was no longer alive when they did this, so they had
Mm-hmm.
to, use serious tech to make it look like he was talking to us.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
They hired a vocal actor to duplicate his speaking voice, and then they edited it over digitally manipulated footage of him from previous episodes of The Twilight Zone, and kind of like made an amalgamation of him that did what it needs to do.
And that was
for the
kind of a long time ago. You know what I mean? Tower of Terror opened when I was a kid.
That would be AI now.
Yes, exactly. I don't think now it would be that difficult. And I've seen movies that have done this, but that's like big budget. And I know that the rides are big budget too, but it just blew my mind at the very beginning,
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like that level of production for a pre-show of a ride is mind-blowing.
They put that much effort, yes.
And that pre-show itself actually is one of my favorite small treasures in Disney attractions, because the room that you're in is so themed, and the way the lights go out for it is so theatrical. You're in this like library
big drama.
that you can like touch everything around you and interact with, and it is big drama. It's very scary. Sometimes kids scream in there.
Mm-hmm.
It is so enthralling for a pre-show of something that I'm in love with it, and the lobby of the hotel, and all of its beautiful cobweb detail.
Right.
Like, there's so much to see and take in. I love it.
Yes, I love it too. That one is very, very over the top as far as details go. I definitely agree with you.
Everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got one.
Okay.
I've got a weird one.
Okay.
It is now Morgan's are more broad.
I know. I need to start. I'm thinking if I can change these to less broad.
No, I kind of like it though, because it's like a prompt for us to talk about our favorite of each of the things that you've listed. I kind of love it. Maybe we should start by what do you have on your list, and I
And
can
see what it
fit.
fits.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that, but I don't think this one would actually fit anywhere, so I'm just going to talk
Okay.
about it separately, which is there's a very seldom used corner of Disney's Hollywood Studios that I love very deeply, which is the extended queue of Muppet Vision 3D. It is an outdoor queue, and
I don't think seldom used. I think it's not at all used anymore, right?
when we posted a TikTok about this very topic, I did have people in the comment section let me know that early in the days of Galaxy's Edge, it was used as overflow queue space
For
to get into the attractions. So if the line was so far that it was like outside of Galaxy's Edge, they used the exterior queue of Muppet Vision 3D, which is crazy.
crazy. Oh my gosh, if you're in line at Muppet Vision 3D to get on Rise of the Resistance, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much anymore, thank gosh. But yeah, that is what it was used for last, according to the TikTok comments. But it's barely ever used at all now. It features puppets. It features posters of the Muppets recreating famous movie posters
Uh-huh.
through
Yeah.
American cinema history, which is very fun. They're beautiful, and then also the support pipes of the awning are all painted like as characters, and there are chickens all over everything. And it's a reference to the Muppet pipes, which were pipes on the set of the Muppet Show, the original Muppet Show in the 70s, that the art department would paint in different characters as like a whimsical way to like add life to the set.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's like it gets a tribute in Hollywood studios, and nobody ever sees it because nobody's
Yeah.
ever using that line.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
anymore. But there are a ton of fun Muppet details in the pre-show area of Muppet Vision as well that are really fun. Like there's a Pigs in Space poster. There's there's a Treasure Island poster up in the rafters. Also up in the rafters are the actual soldier puppet dolls that they use in the finale of the movie. Those same puppets are right up above you in their like full patriotic glory in the rafters of Muppet Vision 3D pre-show. So if you're in there,
The
you look up.
pre-show, oh my gosh, that space in there, there's so much stuff.
Yeah,
You could spend hours in there identifying all that stuff.
yeah, seriously. It's like the to make a Disneyland reference, it's like the Collector's Fortress at Guardians of the Galaxy. I almost said Cosmic Rewind, but it's Mission Breakout.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff all throughout, and hey, here's a fun extra Disneyland one. One of the things in the boxes in there is Figment,
Yeah.
which I love.
Yeah.
That's a fun coast to coast detail.
And they have a bunch of, they have a bunch of Disney references in there too. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
They've got a Yeti, but not our Yeti. The Matterhorn Yeti.
Right, the Matterhorn bobsled Yeti.
Yeah, you've got to look for stuff like that. But that's the hard thing sometimes about the queues or the pre-shows that have so much stuff. You're never going to get to see all that.
Gotta come back.
Yeah, well, how many times have we gone on Tower of Terror and stuff? I still couldn't tell you, half the stuff that's in there.
No, yeah, that's what's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah.
They put so much detail in there. It's crazy. Yeah, great one. Muppets is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal. So
thanks. We love the Muppets in this house.
We do. And I used to wait in that line when I was a kid. That there was a line for Muppets when I was a kid, and it would go out over on that side that had those posters, and it was very cool.
Yeah. It is hot out there.
Yeah, but it's covered.
And there are fans. So
it could be worse.
We take what we can get.
You know what I mean? There are lines in existence now that have opened from rides that have opened more recently that don't have all that. So yeah.
Yeah.
These days you don't have to really wait in line for the Muppets. But
no. You just have to watch the fun pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't have to do that.
Yeah, if you time it right.
Yeah. Okay, so my next magical extras, I just put Well, I'm going to go with accuracy.
Okay.
Um, Accuracy is something that sometimes shocks me. The accuracy they put into, especially the historic areas,
Yes.
like Liberty Square,
Hmm.
Frontierland. You know what I mean?
The details are like there are things that you don't realize are being done out of historical accuracy, like all
Exactly.
around you.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I'm trying to think of some good examples. Do you have any off the top of your head?
Yeah, in Liberty Square, all of the windows have crooked window shutters, and it's because during the Revolutionary
Oh
War,
wow.
there were no metal screws or nails. Everything was being used for the war effort. So they would tie them together with twine onto the window frame. So over time, the twine would wear and the window shutters would start to sag, and that's why none of them are even or
That's
upright.
fascinating. I didn't even know that one.
I love that
Oh my
one.
gosh. That yeah.
Yeah, that one's amazing.
They say that, and I'm sure this is accurate based on everything that we know about how detailed Disney is with this stuff,
Hmm.
that there are no public bathrooms in Liberty Square because that wasn't a thing back then.
I love this one.
Yeah, and they're very close, so don't feel like if you go back there, you are going to be out of luck if you need to go to the restroom, because Rapunzel's is right there. Like
Right.
Liberty Square is a pretty small section,
Yeah.
but yeah, there are no bathrooms there because why that would make sense.
I love it. I hope that it's like I hope the thematic version of it like is the true intention.
I know,
You know what I mean? I
not laziness or whatever.
or like some planning reason, like a pipe reason, you know what
Right.
I mean? In my brain, in my heart, that is the reason.
I do I It took me a while to believe it, but I mean, if not, I don't think it's a bad thing, because like I said, there's a huge set of restrooms like
Oh
right
yeah.
there. It's not like to fit this theme they made it you uncomfortably far away from a restroom.
No.
Then there's one right past it when you're on your way to Frontierland.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, restrooms are
plenty.
plenty, bountiful.
Yeah. So yeah, the accuracy. I You can read a lot about the different things. We could probably go into it. We probably should, about all of the things like you just said about the shutters that they
Mm.
did. I mean, that the Liberty Tree has
Oh yeah.
um an accurate, like,
13 lanterns
13 lanterns
to
to represent
represent
the.
each of the original
Yeah,
colonies.
right.
Right.
So I just think that
That's cool.
yeah, they put a lot of effort into it. In addition to those areas in Magic Kingdom, they put a lot of effort into accuracy in the different countries in World Showcase,
Hmm.
to the point of asking the countries to contribute or to tell them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now we're no that those get to be amazing. Like in the Morocco pavilion, the tile work on the fountain and planters is like commissioned from the king's tile masons
right.
from the king of Morocco.
Amazing.
I mean, some of them were recently replaced and they are no longer that tile,
Okay.
but the fact that that level of detail was put into the creation of some of the pavilions, it helps when the countries are directly involved. Like
Yes.
the Morocco one specifically is great because they gave money and they
Right.
had this extended contract with Disney.
Norway at the beginning was very involved.
Very involved. So much so that they had like this recurring donation, and they were trying to leverage their money throughout the development of the attractions the best they could, to the point that the attractions underwent significant changes in their development. But also, when they were building all of the sets and they were creating these exterior facades, they had all of that amazing heritage architecture information and experts to make it believable, and oh my gosh, it's so immersive.
Yeah.
Because of course it is, because they have like direct involvement from the source of this aesthetic, which is it really is beautiful in World Showcase especially, but
Yeah.
also in unexpected places throughout the parks. Like in Animal Kingdom, Joe Rhodey and the Imagineers taking all those trips
Yes.
and coming back with actual artifacts or references for things they wanted to fabricate throughout the villages of Harambe or Asia,
Right.
or whatever. All of that feels 100% real.
Right. Right.
You know, if you took a picture, I don't know that I could tell the difference
Right.
if I didn't know Animal Kingdom like the back of my hand. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know who could tell
Well,
the
they brought
difference.
back a bunch of stuff too.
Right.
Or they had stuff made from, you know what I mean? Like
Local
the
artisans.
flags are from Nepal.
Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. I agree. But even the fictional stories, they stay true to the story.
Mhm.
To the point where, like, for Pandora, they made up this whole story about how you're there with a travel company and
Mhm.
all of this. I mean, like, this backstory, because it has to make sense and it's got to be accurate to the story. It's got to make sense that you would be able to be there.
Right.
It's got to make sense that there would be a place where we can order, bowls of food.
Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle.
Yeah.
Without smacking a Chipotle in the middle of Pandora. You know what I mean? It
Now, if
had to
this
be
were the
accurate.
90s, it might have been a different story.
There might have been golden arches back there.
Yeah. But nowadays, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is very true. I mean, hey, those McDonald's carts, they were themed.
They were themed, and there probably were in areas where it made sense, kind of.
Yeah, the Frontierland.
Frontierland.
Wagon.
Yes, exactly.
Of
And there was
course.
one in Dinosaur Land. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
But actually, that was the dinosaur ride is a dinosaur museum, so it would kind of make sense to have a McDonald's outside of a dinosaur museum, theoretically.
Yeah. And
It's not like we were supposed to be in the Cretaceous.
No.
Period.
In fact, we were in like a tacky carnival version of a dinosaur attraction.
Right, where a McDonald's would make sense.
Where a McDonald's, of course there's a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, so anyway, accuracy is one of my favorite things because, I mean, what an exhaustive effort they put into making sure all of this stuff makes sense so that you can't be like, well, this wouldn't be here.
Right. It's very impressive.
It's so impressive.
And you're not even, when you're there, you're not in the mindset of, oh, that doesn't look realistic, because you don't even get the opportunity. Everything around you is so thought through and detailed that it's very rare that in a Disney park you get the feeling of, well, that didn't quite thematically, visually, aesthetically fit into the area that I'm in. Most of the time I feel like the environment is pretty well thought through.
Right.
Now, there are some examples of late that people point to, but in general, like sight lines and stuff.
Yeah.
But in general, I think it's still a very
Wait, what
impressive...
sight lines? Are there any specifics? Because I thought I've heard reasons for all of them.
Well, I think there was a lot of uproar with this latest Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind
What?
building.
That blends straight into the sky. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen it.
Yeah, people complaining that it's not,
what are they going to do? What are they going to
do? Yeah, I guess the thought was that they shouldn't have, I don't know.
They put a ton of effort into trying to find...
It's not me.
Yeah, they put a ton of effort into trying to find the exact blue that would blend this building into the sky as much of the time as humanly possible.
I don't personally notice it nearly as much as, have you ever rounded the corner in Tomorrowland walking toward Fantasyland? You're in like the Mad Tea Party area of things, and you take a look to your left, and just for a second you can see the full Contemporary Hotel. Has that ever happened to you?
No.
That's a really interesting one that I noticed ever since I was a kid.
Interesting.
I kind of love it.
You mean, but the Contemporary kind of fits with the Tomorrowland, don't you think?
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, it definitely...
More so than the Raceway.
You're already at the point where it's like... The Raceway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are always dragging on the Raceway.
Drag? It's not a drag race. We are always dragging on the Raceway, but they've admitted defeat because they're changing it in Disneyland.
Yeah,
so
but to electric cars.
They know it's a problem.
Yeah.
They know it's an issue. Maybe...
Are we going to miss the smell of gasoline, you think?
What? Yeah, the nostalgic...
They're going to start making gasoline-scented candles.
Oh my gosh. Pump in the...
Yeah.
carcinogens.
Remember when you were a kid and Tomorrowland smelled like this?
Dark times. Well, there's enough magical details at Walt Disney World that I truly feel like we could talk about this all day. But
yeah.
For now, let's call this the end of part 1.
Okay.
And we will continue this discussion in part 2.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, if you've enjoyed the first half of our discussion of our magical little Disney detail extras, then we would love, first of all, to say thank you for watching. And then second of all, if you enjoyed us on social media for even more fun, we're at Neverland Navco on both Instagram and TikTok. We're posting about park history, we're posting about food, dining, shopping, all parts of the Disney experience. We would love to have you join the conversation over there as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We also have an Etsy shop called Neverland Navigation on Etsy, where we make super soft custom trip shirts. If you are looking to buy a Disney shirt for yourself or for somebody else, send us a message and tell us what your favorite rides are, and we'll send you some design ideas. We do like fun retro. We have a lot of the like a People Mover retro one, or a Carousel of Progress retro kind of shirt.
Yeah, I love that. The look of the old attraction logos, attraction posters. Oh, I just think those are such cool shirts.
My favorite one right now is Maelstrom. And I keep wearing it, and I keep having people comment on it when I go to Disney because people loved the ride. So it's a good kind of conversation thing.
People love a retro attraction. Kind of thing. Or if you just want to get favorite attractions, that's a fun way to do group shirts.
Yeah, that's a great way to do like a family type shirt situation. And that's a lot of times what I recommend to my clients. If you book a Disney trip with me, you'll get the same price or better than you would get booking it on your own. Plus, you get free trip t-shirts for your family. So a lot of times I'll have families where somebody's wearing a Haunted Mansion shirt because that's their favorite, and somebody's wearing a Pirates of the Caribbean shirt because that's their favorite, and somebody's wearing a Space Mountain shirt because that's their favorite, and it makes a really cute photo.
I love
soft and retro.
All of those pictures are so cute.
Yeah.
People doing that. I love them very much. Please continue to send us pictures.
Oh, yes. And sorry, real quick, if you did want to do that, my email is neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. Again, I'm a free to you travel agent. I get paid by the travel company. So send me a message, send me an email, and we'll talk about it.
There's never been a better time to have a Disney expert as a travel agent as things get more complicated, or if you just want someone who can give you reliable rates or whatever the situation.
And somebody that will be checking to make sure if a better rate comes along that you get it, because you don't have time for that.
No, ain't nobody.
But that's my whole job.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. And until we delve into this next set of magical details, we'll see you on
our next adventure. Bye.